there's something to be said for a pedal that gives you something new while also feeling so strangely familiar. Alright, so what's going on here? What I'd like to do is start with the mix for these top 3 knobs at around 9 o'clock, and then just start exploring from there. Alright, so as you heard, the more we start stretching the timings of these, the more grit and signal noise we get, and this will be a theme. So we've got our pre-delay, which is the space before anything happens. That's this first knob right here. And then right next to it is the diffuse knob. And this is what turns it from a simple repeating echo into something more deep, complex, and reverby. Now, the third knob here, dwell, is feedback within that virtual echo chamber. This doesn't really start to pick up on my guitar playing until around 2, 3 o'clock, but it plays a very important role, which we'll see in just a bit. Now that we've built up a real healthy wash of lo-fi reverb, we can set it all in motion with the move knob down here. Check this out. having those echoes come back just slightly pitched up and down gives us that dreamy quality that keeps things interesting. But sometimes we want all that stuff happening at a completely different pitch than our input signal. Behold, the pitch knob. It can be a little tricky to try to find a place for this to land other than octaves and fifths, but it's a fun little bit of what the heck was that to add into the mix. One more surface level control you've probably been curious about, the reverse button. When engaged, it starts processing the pre-delay pipeline backwards. And this is unlike any other reverse pedal that I've ever heard. That's some serious haunted house energy right there. Couple of other nice features. This is a mono in, stereo out pedal, if we want it to be. Using a TRS cable, like I've been doing, we can get a true stereo output. Separate but intertwined outputs that won't phase each other out when they're summed together. So we can set it to stereo or summed mono, and we can also set whether we want tails on or off. This pedal is capable of some truly wild things, but it also feels, and I hate to use cliche pedal demo words, but organic. The echoes hit like a faint memory of a dream before your rational mind scrubs it from memory. You know what else is a fun little nice to have? According to the pedal's designer, there's a slight phase effect in the feedback network. And I don't know if that's what I'm picking up here, but listen to this 2-second clip of the direct guitar recording from the opening demo jam. Did you hear that? One more time. I don't know what parts of this came together to make that little phantom flourish happen, but I do love myself a happy little accident. When it comes to time-based effects, there's always this sort of false dichotomy that says, well, is it digital or analog? And if it's digital, then it's all ones and zeros. It's all algorithms and software. But in reality, there's a continuum. If we open up a modern digital pedal, we will indeed find a monolithic digital signal processor, or DSP, surrounded by a few components. That's the way most digital pedals are made today, and that's cool. The Bubbletron and the Crab Chorus probably wouldn't exist any other way. But back in the 90s, digital wasn't always a space or cost-saving measure. It was a pursuit of cleaner, longer delays with greater flexibility. The Digitech PDS 2700 and the Boss RV2 with its double-decker circuit boards utilize digital memory to store and delay the audio signal, but a lot of this is all about shaping and compressing and manipulating the audio signal to try to safely fit it into the very limited memory and very low bandwidth processors, and then to attempt to reconstitute that sound on the way out. Call it early digital or hybrid, but this pedal was built in that style. According to the pedal's designer, there are over 400 components on here, all signal flow, no programming, no algorithms. And 3 of those components are on this little piggyback daughter board back here. Looking at these reminds me of the first time I opened up an Apple IIe in grade school. And if you were there, you'll know what I mean when I say that it even smells like vintage computing. For the curious, that's a PT2395, same monstrous digital echo chip found in the Visual Sound H2O, a big underrated favorite of mine, and a Mitsubishi M65841SP. That's a digital reverberation chip with up to 5 delay lines, which is, quote, capable of producing the same reverberation effect as that in a church and bathroom. And between them, there's this NEC DRAM chip, which I believe holds a whopping 256K of memory, and is also the reason why this is the Verbena Dramatic Reverb. This pedal is a tribute to early digital, warts and all. There's a lot more I could say. There's a whole lot more I could say, but you know what? I would rather just mess around for a little while. No pressure, no expectations, just up late on a weekday vibes. The Verbena Dramatic Reverb is made by Lantern Manufacturing in Richmond, Virginia. And if this isn't your style, they have a phaser, a dynamic flanger. We were just talking about the Bubbletron. A quad PT2399 dimensional chorus. Ooh. So lots to love. Definitely check them out on the Instagram or lanternmfgbigcartel.com. Keep an eye out for this pedal. It should be out soon-ish, and I'll catch you on the next one.